why would you even talk about that at a Briar? You're halfway through a Briar, you're still not out of it, and they're saying that they were talking about getting rid of me. I mean, who does that? Who talks about getting rid of players before the season's over?
Hi, and welcome to The Curling Show, the podcast that brings you interviews with the sport's top athletes and the people who shape the game. I'm Dean Gemmel, and in this edition, we wrapped up our recent flurry of activity. 1 week, 3 podcasts, all still available for the amazing low price of $0, with another call to Newfoundland. The man with an Olympic gold medal, the red shoes, and some unexpected space in his schedule, Jamie Korab. Welcome to The Curling Show.
Hey, how you doing?
Well, Jamie, we may as well get right to it. The news came out from The Rock last week that you're no longer part of Team Gushue. You've said in articles and on Curl TV that you were surprised. Before last Monday, you had just had no sense that you were on thin ice?
Surprised, I guess, is an understatement. I guess shocked is probably a better word. No, I mean, right up until the meeting we had at Wednesday night, the meeting was at Glenn Goss, our coach's house. And I had actually just gotten off the phone with Paul Boutelier, basically the head of the World Curling Tour, and he was telling me about, how the skins game is back next year and some things that are happening at the players. So, I went into Glenn's house, and Mark, Brad, and Glenn were there, and I was telling them everything that Paul told me. And then basically it was, the next thing was,
Thanks for the news, Jamie.
Yeah, it was. They said actually about that, and then the next thing they said was, I guess there's no easy way to say this, and then it was, I guess that it was shock. I guess I felt like I was punched in the stomach. It was, the next 10 minutes are a little bit of a blur. I just couldn't believe what I was hearing.
So, I had Brad on the show last week, and he said these chemistry problems that were talked about much by the rest of the team were a problem throughout the year, and that they discussed them with you. But your experience may be different, I guess.
Well, I mean, we had a new player come on in Chris, so obviously the chemistry changed. But I didn't see it changing for the worse. We kind of had 3 different parts of this season. The first part of the season where Chris came on, we were kind of, it was kind of like your honeymoon. No one was saying much to each other. You were feeling everything out. And then, Mark gets his injury. That's the second part of the season. So, we had Pat Simmons play an event with us. We had Paul Fleming. He played an event with us. And we had a bunch of different people play. So, the chemistry there was different because Chris was, now a part of the team, but he was still new. You had a new player. And then after Mark came back, the chemistry seemed great to me. We qualified in every spiel, lose the Briar final. We've never qualified at the Canada Cup before until this year where we make the semis. And, the chemistry thing, I just think that's an excuse. I don't buy it at all.
Speaking of the Canada Cup, there was a blow-up of sorts, I guess. I don't know if blow-up is the right term or not, but there was a words exchange of the Canada Cup that you sort of hinted might be the source of the problem. Is that true, or how do you feel about what went on there?
I think that's the main reason. And, it was a blow-up, in my opinion, mostly on Brad's part. Basically, we're playing Kerry Burtnick, one of my Rock's pick, and it ended up over-curling, tapping them on the nose, and bumping them right to the forefoot. And we ended up had to make a great shot at the end of the end to just give them one, to give up a steal. And, when the end was over, Brad said, guys, you can't give up on those. And I said, well, Brad, you can't give up on those. And then he said, what do you mean? And I told him, well, if we sweep my rock, we don't hit it on the nose, we might hit it a hair high. And he's like, that wouldn't happen. I was like, well, why wouldn't it? You sweep a rock, it stays straight. I think it could happen. And then, he said, Jamie, that never happened. And all I said back was, Brad, don't be a hypocrite. You're telling us not to give up. I'm telling you not to give up. Don't be so defensive. Then he went halfway down the ice. He came back up the ice and, made a very rude, snarky comment. And then I was just kind of shocked at what he said. And then, I said, Brad, come here. Let's talk about this. And then he turned around and said something else. He swore at me and then proceeded back up the ice. So, I was in total shock. Both Mark and Chris had agreed with me during the end that it looked like Brad did give up. So I said something, these type of things that Brad said, don't give up. It's, he wasn't trying to be mean, but it's the type of things he said to us for the last, 4 or 5 years. And, I don't think anyone's ever said anything like that back to him.
So that you really think that was the first time you ever said something back to these sort of remarks?
On the ice, yes, definitely. We've obviously, we're, we've played in some high pressure games and some, some times before, me and Brad have had some incidents, but I mean, none really in the last couple of years. And it wasn't that he said something to me. I just turned it right back around on him because it looked to us like he gave up more than we gave up. And he took it at the team meeting. He said to me that was the last straw for him. And I was like, Brad, how's it the last straw? I said, how? What do you mean? And he said, that was a personal attack. I was like, Brad, how's that a personal attack? You said to me, I said the same thing back to you. Then you said something very snarky and swore. I said, so how's that a personal attack on me? If anything, you personally attacked me. Basically, I was waiting for an apology back from Brad from that. But in Brad's eyes, he didn't see he did anything wrong. So, we didn't really talk for 2 days because I was just, I was kind of shocked that he said that and the way he said it. So anyway, by the end of the spiel, we were talking, we made the semis, and then, we were only home for about 36 hours. So I wasn't talking when we were home, and we didn't have a chance to address the situation. We went to Port Hawkesbury. Everything was, back to normal the way it's been for the last 3-4 years. We make the quarters, had a shot to win. We should have, we had a chance to beat Blake McDonald and, or Kevin Cooley, same team, and, just the rock didn't curl. If it curls up, we make the semi, and you never know. We could have went on to make the final and win the thing. But then they come back, and, in my opinion, it's just an excuse. I don't buy the chemistry thing.
When you get through Port Hawkesbury, you're thinking, well, there was an incident, and maybe we need to have a discussion, but you certainly didn't feel like it was the end of your tenure.
No, for sure. I mean, I talked to Glenn Goss after the situation in BC. I talked to him a little later that day. And I called him, and, he said, we'll have to have a meeting about it before you go to the Slam, but we never had that chance. So, when Glenn sent out the email about, team meeting on Wednesday night, I assumed, I was going in there expecting to talk about the situation, saying, Brad, an apology would be nice, but, would have been nice, but, this is minor compared to things that have happened before. Let's put it past us. And, I figured the conversation was going to be about, okay, how do we get the most out of everybody to try to, win in Calgary and get that Olympic pre-trial spot.
Do you think it would have been different if Toby McDonald was still coaching you guys?
It's hard to say. The way it's kind of been on that team, they call them team decisions, but, Brad makes the majority of decisions, and, the team doesn't say a whole lot. So, I don't know if it would really matter who was coaching. I don't think that would make a difference, no.
So over the years, it's generally been Brad's decisions, and you guys have sort of fallen in line, is sort of your take on it.
Yeah, basically, obviously we have input, but, that's one thing Brad said to me. Brad said to me at the meeting, he said that, we've had some, you've kind of contradicted everything we said or shot down everything we've said all year. And I was like, what do you mean? And he said, we've said some things that we'd like, that we wanted to do, and you'd disagree. And he couldn't give me an example, but he said, I felt we had some pretty good ideas. And, my response was, well, if I agree with everything you say, how's that helping? I'm entitled to an opinion, and I guess ultimately that's, having an opinion that actually is probably not a good thing.
I guess ultimately maybe you weren't.
Yeah.
Hey, when I spoke to Brad, he said the team had actually made the decision midweek at the Briar. Did that surprise you?
I don't believe that one bit. At the Briar, we were all playing well. Everything was, going pretty great. I never had a tremendous Briar, but, I was fairly consistent, and, my attitude I thought was great. I didn't see any, we were playing well. Our start at a Briar, we weren't playing that well, but, why would you even talk about that at a Briar? You're halfway through a Briar, you're still not out of it, and they're saying that they were talking about getting rid of me. Who does that? Who talks about getting rid of players before the season's over?
Do you think it would have been different if you'd won the final game?
I don't know. If we had to win the final game, went on to win the Worlds or do well at the Worlds, if that incident still would have happened in BC, if Brad would have wanted me gone, I would have been gone.
What about the timing of the decision right before the Tylenol Players Championship in Calgary? Does that surprise you, disappoint you, or are you happy that it's earlier rather than later?
If it was me making the decisions, finish the year out. That would be my take on it. The guys said they figured it was best for all of us. I don't see how that's best for all of us at all. It's like I said, it's just a bit of a shock, and in my opinion, the timing wasn't very good. And then some of the things that have come out since, like you said about talking about it, how they said this is a decision they talked about at the Briar, and it's just there's a lot of things that don't add up.
It sounds like a wound that's pretty fresh with you right now, but One of the things that came out, Chris Schilly and the others, Brad as well, said it was about doing the right thing for the team. I did say to Brad it was really about doing the right thing for 3/4 of the team, since not so great for you. The fact of the matter is, though, if it's a team game and you're responsible for 1/4 of the team's success, how do you feel about the fact that there's certain events that the team qualified for with you that you're not going to be a part of?
Well, the whole, doing what's best for the team. If you look at our Olympic team, Micah's gone, I'm gone, Toby's gone, Russ is gone. What's left of the team? In my opinion, there's one person that's benefiting from all this. And, it seems that that's what it's all focused to. He says he's doing what's best for the team, but, it's, who are you doing what's best for, the team or yourself?
How is it different? How is it different during the Olympics run when Russ was in the house?
The different with with Russ in the house. Russ brought a lot of experience. Obviously, we were a relatively experienced team. Obviously, Russ brought a lot to the table, but it was there wasn't a whole lot of difference. The year following. Leading in before Russ played with us, there's a difference. But after Russ left, we had that extra bit of confidence. We still felt we had to prove ourselves because we didn't feel we had the respect of everybody, but. We felt more confident. We had won Olympic gold medal the first time for Canada, and this past season, we just played with a different level of confidence. I thought. I know we won Olympic gold medal last year, but this past year was our most successful year yet. We were sixth on the money list, but counting all our other events, we cracked the $100,000 mark. Lost to Briar final. Like I said, Canada Cup we qualified. We won an event in Switzerland. We finished. Made the semis in Scotland. We had a fairly successful year. So, the whole, it's just kind of it's just like I said before, it just kind of doesn't add up.
Have you talked to Mike Adam or Russ Howard?
I haven't talked to Russ. I talked to Mike, and we kind of had a bit of a chuckle about it.
Was he ever really in play to be part of the team this year?
Well, obviously he was. Yeah, he was. Set up for fifth, and we were hoping, but he would, be able to make a lot of the practice and do a lot of things that we want him to do and that he's done in the past as fifth. But, his school schedule and some other things he had going on, prevented him from being able to commit the way he wanted to commit. So, that's all. It would have been nice if Mike had the time to put into it. And, when Mark got hurt, Mike could have stepped in, but under the circumstances, it couldn't happen.
Were there any issues between you and Chris Schilly this year?
No, not really. Me and Chris roomed together the whole year. Chris has got a different attitude on the ice. Me and Mark and Brad have got, we've worked for 5 years with a sports psychologist, and Chris, even though he's younger, he's kind of an old school curler. He shows his frustration, is real fiery, and at first it was a little bit of a distraction, but that's his personality, and we accepted it. So, I got along with great on the ice. There was a couple little incidents, but nothing major. It was. I said something, he said something back. The next shot, we're back talking, we're normal. We're fine again. And so, no, yeah, no problems with Chris at all.
Did it ever chafe on you how much attention and credit Brad received for winning the gold medal?
No, I never ever. It's a team game. It's from day one when you start curling, the skip gets all the attention. So it never ever bothered me, the attention he had from the media or, when we go out somewhere, people recognize Brad and say, "Oh, you must be the rest of the team." That stuff. I don't curl for fame. I don't curl for money. I don't think anyone curls for money because, as everybody knows, you'll starve if you do. But I curl because I love it, and even though I'm not, we're not recognized as much as Brad. I get just when we won that, Olympic gold medal, I had, just as much satisfaction as Brad Gushue.
Are you going to write your own book?
Well, I'd never be able to write. I'm not much of a writer, but no, I have actually never even thought of it. That's the first time anyone's ever mentioned it. Maybe someday, something, a book. Russ has got the Hurry Hard book out. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but that'd be pretty fun.
It's a good read, actually. But hey, Brad said he thought that time would sort of heal all wounds, and that you guys would be best of friends again. How do you feel about that right now?
I doubt that. Best of friends after this. It's a tough pill to swallow, and maybe someday down the road there'll be some type of friendship, but for the definitely immediate future and the next season for sure. It's there won't be much friendship, won't be much conversation at all, if any.
You're in sort of a tough spot right now in terms of another team. Do you think you'll stay in Newfoundland with a Newfoundland rink, or will you look to do the kind of thing that John Meade's doing and play with people from outside the province?
Yeah, I mean, me and my girlfriend, we just bought a house, so I highly doubt I'd be moving away. The John Meade thing that him and Wayne are doing, I wouldn't mind doing something like that. When we won the Olympics, some of the trials, some of the funding we had, Russ took a quarter of that, and it's the same this year. So I'll have some funding that can pay for some of my trips and stuff. So that would something I definitely love to do. The problem is that we're in the middle of the Olympic run. All your teams kind of sign up for 3 years.
That's a tricky part right now. I mean, if you almost have to go to someone that has 3 members of a team, and because you won't carry your points, will you?
No, I don't carry the points, and like I said, most teams, it was never said with our team that this is a 3-year commitment, but it was, kind of said to Chris, this is a 3-year commitment, and we're 1 year into our 3-year, did really well, and I get the boot. So
you wish you had a contract?
Contract, a contract's a piece of paper. The guy Brad doesn't want me to curl with him, and I say, well, I have a contract and I want to curl. So how fun will that be? I'm saying I have to stay and curl.
That's true.
If the guy doesn't want me to curl, I don't want to curl with him. Like I said, I don't curl for money or for the fame. I curl for, I want to win, I want to have fun, and obviously, I wouldn't have fun in that situation. But
you're going to continue to receive some of the Sport Canada funding.
Yeah, I like I said, I get the Sport Canada funding as long as I'm playing on a team that's playing some bonspiels and they're signed up for CTR. So, I finish what I was saying. If I curl on a team away, to be great to meet them at a few events, but I'm still going to try to find a team here. I've got some possibilities, and definitely I'm going to be working as hard or harder than the rest of that team to to try to make it have a good run at the Tankard and put up a good fight.
We might have the makings of Furby Martin in Newfoundland, at least.
I think so, yeah.
Judging from the way comments are running on Newfoundland websites and curlingzone.com, Brad's popularity seems to be taking a hit. Is that your sense?
Yeah, for sure. Our local papers around here and our just the word of mouth from people, and everyone I've talked to are kind of shocked with it and not overly happy. And Brad made the comment about he feels people here are being a little harsh, and that he thinks the rest of Canada understands the decision. Well, I haven't talked to anyone yet, and I know a lot of the people I talk to away are friends, but I've talked to a lot of curlers, and the consensus is that it's they feel I've kind of got the shaft, or they feel I've been done wrong. So I mean, I haven't talked to many people that'll agree, and I mean it's I guess a lot of people wouldn't necessarily agree unless you were in an elite team or you're in a high caliber competition, but we're not a high paying sports team like when we were at that meeting. Brad Gushue used the example of when Wayne Gretzky left Edmonton. Obviously not comparing me to Wayne Gretzky. You can't compare yourself to him, but the situation he said where he was traded, he loved the team there, the fans loved him, the team loved him. Well, the difference there is he didn't just get dropped and have no team. He was traded to a team that wanted him in LA. B, he was still guaranteed his millions and all his money, and there was nothing like that was going to change. And C, Mark Messier didn't go to the Glenn Sather or whoever the person, the head person was, a coach, and say, I want Wayne gone. It wasn't the team. It was an executive decision. The thing that that's tough to swallow here is that it's my best friends are the ones that said, we no longer feel you can help us anymore.
Yeah, it seems like Glenn could have chosen a little better metaphor there.
Yeah, I was really, when they said that, it kind of, that kind of hurt an hour later, because when he said it to me, I had no comeback for anything they said, just that I was shocked. But I was kind of a little that one really got to me.
Do you think your relationship with Mark Nichols is fractured as well, or do you get a sense that you and he might be sort of on the same page?
Like for the immediate future, I'm just with the whole team really. It's the type of situation where I felt more could have been done. I didn't feel this. A change maybe was necessary, like in our approach to the game, or something. But to take this measure, and no doubt I think it's a Brad Gushue decision. But the team definitely went along with it. So no matter who brought it up or who wanted it done, everyone else agreed with it. So, I guess in a sense they're all in the same boat. So for right now, there's not much of a friendship there right now.
All right, Jamie, we end with something a little lighter, unless you have anything else you want to add before we sign off here.
No, that's basically it. I will be curling next year. I'm going to take the summer off. I was looking forward to this summer anyway, just to relax. Like I said, we bought a new house and get some work done there. And
you have a little extra vacation time now.
A little extra vacation time, and a lot of people, most people that called me and emailed me following the incident were, saying feel sorry. I was like, I'm a big boy. I guess you don't need to feel sorry for me. I'll be back next year, and yeah, for sure.
All right, well, let's try the run back. I give you a topic. You give me your thoughts in 1 to 3 words.
Okay.
Russ Howard.
Screams really loud.
Hair gel.
I use wax.
Wax. All right. I got it. I mean, I'm a guy who needs hair product as well, so I'm not giving you a hard time about that. The play at the World Championships in Edmonton.
What's that again?
The overall play at the World Championships in Edmonton.
Glenn Howard, phenomenal.
Unbelievable, really. It was quite a performance, although, they've come down to earth this week, I think, but that's to be expected. Yeah. Exploding rocks.
Exploding rocks. Well, poof is the first thing that comes to mind, but, definitely interesting.
Do you think there was any that Kevin's thoughts on that were close to being correct?
I think it might have had something to do with it. I think after talking to a few ice makers since I've been home, obviously Dave is a good ice maker, but I think there might have been something in the water there, or some other things contributing that they couldn't control. That
seems to be the biggest problem, maybe the problem with the jet ice machine. But the ice that Dave made in Edmonton was certainly great. So
yeah, exactly.
And finally, Brad Gushue's political aspirations.
I guess could care less.
You won't be campaigning, I guess.
No.
All right, Jamie. Hey, thanks for your time. Thanks for your candor. I know it's not the greatest of weeks for you, but I'm sure you'll bounce back with a solid team. You're a solid performer, and I know you're a well-liked guy in the World Curling Tour. So good luck to you, and hope to see you back next year.
Thanks for sure. Take care.
That's Jamie Korab on The Curling Show. Apparently, our stay in the top 100 sports podcasts on iTunes Canada was brief, but maybe we'll sneak back in with this interview. We did have another record-setting month in March, so as always, thanks for listening.
You go to work every day, you blend into the crowd.